Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the post, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. Actually, no, you're not watching us on Facebook because that's all crazy. You watch us on our YouTube channel. Excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy until some hackers came and jacked it up. I had it all at one handle, but not anymore. So on Facebook, I'm at, well, once I get it reactivated, if you know, Shawn.Sierra.2025. On Twitter, I'm at ShawnSierra33. On Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, I am at the Shawn Sierra. We got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like the Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat. Let's check the chat. My man Cornelius Squall's checking in. It's the top of the morning. Shawn and Sports Zoners. I'd pay to see Caleb and Matas go at each other in practice. Iron sharpens iron. I couldn't agree more, sir. Excellent. Mr. Southside himself, Michelle Walls, goes, what up on a House Music Monday? It's going to be a hot one today. Yes, it is, Doctor. I have 92, 93. Ooh-wee. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. My man Black Diamond checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? It's the top of the morning. FGB. Now that's what I'm talking. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. That's how you play ball from here on out. And that's how you play ball in Mike Lowry voice. Shawn, you should know what movie that's from. Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry. Of course. Bad boys. What you gonna do? Mr. Shorty is in the house. What's up? Mr. Shorty, it's top of the morning to you. Shorty, I was at a house music festival yesterday, and I had one of the cigars, one of the Alec Bradley post-embargo cigars yesterday. Man, oh man. Told you that's my favorite. That could be my favorite cigar right now. The post-embargo from Alec Bradley. I shouldn't say could be. I think that is my favorite cigar. Alec Bradley's my favorite brand. Post-embargo is my favorite cigar from that brand. So, yeah. Yep. My man, Rick Gonzalez in the house. Hola, amigos. Sox continue to impress. The World Cup has been fire. And we are 1 month out from training camp. FGB, hashtag F visiting Wisconsin. Smoke weed every day. Yeah, I didn't get to. So you're probably going to get your wish. You're probably not going to make it up to Wisconsin this year. Because the day to have gone would have been this past Thursday. Common was performing. Other than that, I didn't really have any desire to see anyone else. And they have a lot of acts, as you should. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Summerfest, but they have like 5 outdoor stages, and then the one main stage where the main act of the night performs that you have to pay for. The other 5 you don't; they're free. So they have tons and tons of artists. But yeah, I would have gone to Thursday to see Common, Chicago's own Common, but I didn't make it, so most likely not gonna. I'm not gonna make it this summer. I see you're expressing your sadness. Oh, poor boy, I'm so sad for you. F visiting Wisconsin, FGB. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, listen, we got a great show for you. At 10 o'clock, my man Herb Lawrence, baseball analyst, formerly of CHGO, is going to join us. We're going to talk about our first place White Sox. I know we're in a tie with the Guardians, okay, but we are still tied for first place. I would have liked that game yesterday, but wow. That was our 10th straight home series win. Listen, teams who do that make the playoffs, win the division usually. And I'm not saying that the Sox are going to win the division. I'm just spouting out historical facts. This team continues to outdo itself. Here's the one thing that you have to understand. When you truly believe in each other, as this team does, okay, when you truly believe in each other, things like this happen. Now they have to start playing better on the road, okay? But if they start playing better on the road, you better watch out. You better watch out. You better watch the freak out. And, you know, that ass whooping that they gave him on Friday, 22-1, we could have used a couple of those runs on Saturday and on Sunday. Just give me 3 runs yesterday and we sweep the series. And I'm not going to say that it's just that simple, but I really wish we had a couple of those runs. I wish we had a couple of those runs. A series sweep over the Guardians would have been great. No, I agree with you, Rick. I will take 2 of 3 all day, FGB. But here's, again, where I state, when you take the first 2, like if we won 1, then lost game 2, and then won game 3, cool. But when you take the first 2, there has to be that killer instinct. And I don't think they've developed it yet. I think they're okay with coming from behind and not giving up. There's a big difference between not giving up and coming out with a killer's mentality. There's a big difference. You don't come out to end them quick. Okay? And I understand Cleveland's good. All right, we're jockeying with them for first place. As of now, we're tied for first place with them. But here's where you have to make a statement declaring yourself the best team in the division. if I'm not mistaken, we were down 1-0. You come back, bottom of the first, after the first half inning, bottom of the first, 2-run homer, 2-1. We kept giving away, then they came back to tie it. You have to expect a team after they've lost the first 2 games of the series, especially a team like Cleveland, is going to give you everything they have. And this is where you have to learn how to put them away quickly and hold them down and refuse to let them back in. And they're going to have to learn how to do that. Okay, they're a young team. Okay, they're getting more and more experience. Rick says, "Do you think that killer mentality needs to come from the manager, FGB?" Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. It's got to come from him. It's got to come from him. And they got to buy in. But you as players, and here's my thoughts here, as much as I love managers and coaching, and you know how I feel about coaching. A smart guy who once said coaching matters. Okay? But you're at a point, you got to the show because you know how to play the game. You got to the show because there have been points in time where you were the man on the team and you exerted that killer instinct against a different opponent at some level of your career. All of you have done this. This is just the next and the highest level to do that. And that's what they need. They need a leader. We don't have a leader. We don't have a bona fide leader on this team. Leader by committee, maybe. Leader by committee, okay. But who is our dude? Who is the face of this team? I mean, we could have argued in the first 2 months it was Murakami. Munetaka Murakami. There he is. But he's hurt. And the Sox have gone to have a winning record without him since he's been hurt. Rick says, I think Vargas could lead. I think he might be able to. I don't think he's ready right now. I just don't think he's ready right now. He's more than talented enough. There's something about him, though, that just, to me, and it's not that you have to be a loud and vocal person to be a leader. You don't, because you don't. And we don't know how he is in the clubhouse. We don't know if he is a little louder in the clubhouse, but you can kind of tell by their personality on the field that he's not really a rah-rah kind of guy. So, I think once we find out who our leader is, yeah, Chase is a spark plug for sure. I agree. Is that what we want? Is that a winning model where you don't have a leader per se, but the entire team is on one page? I don't know if I've ever seen a team that didn't have a leader that win it all. And I'm not saying the Sox are going to win it all this year. I'm just saying I'm looking forward to the future, like who's going to be the face. Now, it could be Money Man, Munetaka Murakami. Could be. Could be. But I don't know yet. And plus he hasn't mastered the English language yet. So it's tough to lead when you got to go through a translator. It's tough to lead. Because if he gives an emotional speech, he's giving an emotional speech. You don't know what he's saying until the translator says it. And is the translator going to translate it with the same passion and emotion as Munetaka does? So I don't know. I think that's one thing we're missing. Is a leader, captain of this team. Cubs, on the other hand, the Cubs are coming around. The crooked commish checking in from the AZ. The Shawn top of the morning. Cubs getting that series versus old Milwaukee was big, but I'm not sure if we have reliable pitching for the postseason. Who do you have pitching? Everyone seems to get hurt. God bless it. God bless it. Who do you have? If that isn't the most jinxed a team has ever been in a season, I don't know what it is. Pitching staff has ever been, I don't know what it is. And I know a lot of other teams have issues with their pitching staff, but God bless it. The starters, the relievers, all of them, every single facet of that bullpen, the pitching rotation has been affected. Every single one. Unreal. Unreal. Talk about jinxed. Rick, oh, here we go. Fake Cub concern is always welcome. FGB. I gotta talk about them. I gotta keep it a buck. And by keeping it a buck, you can tell that they're starting to come out of their little funk. They went up there, reestablished Wrigley North, took 2 out of 3. Okay, Pete Crow Armstrong looks like he might be ready. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. checking in. What's up, Papa? Hope you're doing well today, buddy. But the Cubs are definitely in a spot where they're okay too. Cubs are in a good spot as well. But at the top of the hour, we're going to talk a lot more about the Cubs. I'm sorry, the White Sox with Herb Lawrence at 10 o'clock. We are getting close. 1 month. A little more than a month. I think they begin the 31st is when the camp schedule. Do we have that up there? No. I'll put it up there. Yeah, we have camp is coming up. I'm a little excited about it, guys. I'm a little excited about it, and as you should be as well. All right, it's going to be an unbelievable season. I think the Bears are really going to take a big step forward, and I'm not going to surprise anybody. Not going to break out this year. They broke out last year. Okay, but I just think that the Bears are in a good spot to build off of what they started. And last year was a great start. Again, we should have beaten that LA team. Oh, that hurts me. Should have beaten that LA team. Gone to the NFC Championship game to face Seahawks. And at that point, who knows? Who knows where that would have gone? Man, Levette Lee checking in. What's up, man? How are you? So good morning, y'all. Good morning. Levette is in the house. Thank you much for tuning in. I appreciate it. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to go to commercial, and on the other side of the break, we will get to our top of the morning topics. All right? So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
Do you know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe. But some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
One strike. Line drive, left field, base hit, Seiya Suzuki. 1 run scores, bobbled and left. 2 runs score, and it's 4-1 Cubs. Unraveling here for the Brewers in the 10th. 2-2. Ground ball to third. Throw to second for 1 for the win. Yes!
Oh, my.
Oh, baby! Cubs win! Cubs Cubs win the game. Cubs win the series. Welcome back to the big leagues, Jordan Wicks. He gets the save. Final score, Cubs 4, Brewers 3. That's for you, Wrigley North.
Yeah, just spectacular stuff.
Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those are the Northsiders going back, replanting their flag at Wrigley North as an American family field or something like that. All right. Good win. Good series win for the Cubs. Okay. Good series win. You guys are back doing what you're doing. Take 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. Let's get a crack-a-lackin', baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
He won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's see the first top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? There's only one place to start, man. Start there for you guys. I'm saying I never do anything for you, psychos. All right. Cubs beat the Brewers 4-3 in 10 innings yesterday. Also win the series. Huge win. Huge series win for the Northsiders. All right. Rolison got the start. He got a no decision. He went 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. No walks, 2 punch out. Jordan Wicks, you saw, close the game out with a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. He got to save his first after coming back from injury. Seiya Suzuki was 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs, 36th and 37th of the season. And Michael Busch contributed his 45th RBI of the year. No rest for the weary. All right, the next top of the morning topic. All right, the Cubs. They host the San Diego Padres today at the friendly confines. First pitch is at 7:05 p.m. Central. You can catch that on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 104.3 FM or 670 AM, The Score. The probable for today's games for San Diego, TBD. Be determined. For the Northsiders, Shota Imanaga goes on the bump. He's 5-6 with a 4.40 ERA. Next top of the morning topic, and this hurts. White Sox. White Sox fell to the Cleveland Guardians 5-4. Anthony Kay got the start. He got the loss. He's 6-3, went 3 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 1 free pass, 2 punch outs. Miguel Vargas was 2 for 2 with a double, his 14th, a homer, his 19th, and 2 RBIs, bringing his total to 52 for the year. Kyle Teal continues his hot streak. He was 1 for 4, driving in his 4th and 5th RBIs of the campaign. It just literally started for him last week. But like the Cubs, no rest for the weary. No rest for the weary. All right, because now the White Sox hopped on a plane last night and they've traveled to Baltimore, to face the Orioles. First pitch tonight is at 5:35 Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. The probables for tonight's game for the good guys from the South Side. Not Seam. I want to see something like that. There we go. We'll save that. I put Seam, S-E-A-M. That's funny. The good guy, Sean Burke, is on the bump. He's 5-4 with a 3.71 ERA. He's going up against Shane Baz for the O's, who's 4-8 with a 4.31 ERA. The next top of the morning topic, the Sky. The Sky lost to the Las Vegas Aces, who were in town. Overruns in the South Loop. They lost to the Aces 107-99. Camila Cardoso, 24 points, 8 rebounds. Azura Stevens, 24 points, 6 rebounds. Okay, and the funny part about it is Camilla, I shouldn't say funny. I really want Camilla to be more dominant. I'm sorry, Sydney Taylor added 14 for the Sky. I really want Camilla Cardoso, but she don't have that dog in her, and that's the thing that bugs me. She don't have that dog in her that bothers me big time. 6'7", you're one of the tallest women in the WNBA, and you don't play like it most of the time. There are times when you do play like it. But there are times which more often than not, in my opinion, or more often than you should, you play small. A lot more often than you should. Anyway, staying with this guy. Of course, this is just for Rick. Just for Rick. Sky are off until Friday. Okay, when they travel to Vegas to face the Las Vegas Aces. All right, tip off is at 9 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Ion TV. Remember, Ion has the WNBA has a TV deal with Ion, the cable channel. So the girls will be playing. This guy will be playing the Aces, 9 p.m. Central on Friday on Ion TV. Next top of the morning topic is one that is really pissing me off. Really. The Chicago Bears, they started soil testing in Indiana for their new stadium site. After reading this article this morning, it's from Patrick Finley from the Chicago Sun-Times. He writes, as the Bears continue to zero in on a specific stadium site near Wolf Lake in Hammond, Indiana, they have begun testing soil at Wolf Lake Terminal, which is west of I-90 and near their original proposed lot. The Bears said in a statement Sunday that they, quote, have an excellent option already in place, unquote. But, quote, continue to assess additional parcels of land in the Wolf Lake region to ensure we place the stadium and the mixed-use district in the very best location to serve all of Chicagoland, unquote. They call the soil testing part of the normal site evaluation process. So let me ask you this question. If you have an excellent option already, why are you continuing to look for other options? You have an excellent option is what you said. So excellent would mean you can build that stadium there. I think they're full of shit. I don't think they have that. Again, I think it's a big ploy. I think they're using it as leverage for the state of Illinois, but the state of Illinois, they're calling their bluff. Much to the how can I put it? It's going up against the legacy of the governor. Not so much the mayor, but the governor and the state of Illinois. If you lose the Chicago Bears to the state of Indiana, it will be the biggest embarrassment in Chicago sports in a long, long time, if not the biggest. If you lose the Bears to Indiana. Because the Bears said if they move to Indiana, they are not moving Hallis Hall. Which is the dumbest thing in the world. So let's check this out. So you're going to play, you have all your players who live in and around the North Shore. You're going to practice in the North Shore. And your games are going to be an hour plus. Hour 15, hour and a half away. I mean, I understand this. For those of you who don't know how the day before works, the team, you never, the Bears don't sleep in their own beds the night before the game. Okay. What they do is they stay at a hotel. Currently, they stay at the Marriott down literally across the street from Wintrust Arena. That one. If you don't know which building it is, if you're ever coming in on I-55 and you see the hotel with the big red line, it's like it comes down on an angle, goes across, and it comes down on an angle. That's the building. That's the Marquee Marriott, I think it is. I know because I did security there a couple of years ago for a buddy of mine. It wasn't for the Bears, it was for something else that was happening there, but the Bears stay there. And they're all there. They bring all their cars to the big parking lot underneath. They valet all the cars down there, and they bring them up the next morning, and they drive from there to the game, which is, a 3-minute drive with a light. So now they have to do all this. The Bears are really, I'm telling you, the Bears are really, and Kevin Warren are really, really, really going out of their way to force the hand of Illinois. Illinois is not biting. Illinois is not biting. They're like, you don't have land out there that's suitable for building everything you want to build. We don't have to move. You have the 326 acres here that you have something to do with, that you have to continue to pay taxes on every year. So you can continue to pay the state taxes on that property every year. The state's going to get their money. They are not, I don't believe they are leaving the state of Illinois. You're going to have to come to an agreement. I highly doubt the politicians are going to bend. It's just getting uglier and uglier and uglier and more embarrassing by the day for the McCaskey family. Sean Wall says, I don't trust these politicians in Illinois, period. Nor should you. You should trust that they're going to be greedy. That you should trust. You should trust that they don't give a damn if you're the Chicago Bears or not. They're going to want their money. They're going to want to charge you the highest tax rate possible. Because not only do they want the individual tax for every ticket, every parking space sold, they want the property tax every year. Like Diamond says, they're going to because that Indiana deal is too sweet to turn down. But they won't be able to build a stadium on that land. I'm trying to tell you, people don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. They're not going to be able to drive through or to build on that land. They're not going to be able to build that. King Booker World checking in. What's up, Papa? Good morning. Happy House Music Monday for you, sir. Cornelius says the residents of Indiana are just as opposed to higher property taxes as Illinois residents. So the Indiana deal is fool's gold. Rick Says, I drove through Wolf Lake a few weeks back, and it's an eyesore at best. No way we are going there, FGB. Black Diamond says, I disagree. I blame our lovely governor and politicians. You know, I don't blame them solely. They get their fair share, just like the Bears get the lion's share of this blame. I'd say 51-49. Chicago Bears. 51% the organization, 49% government. Because you don't know how to negotiate business. You're going into shark-infested waters and you got a rowboat. Don't do that. You need to get a person who's warns your guy. You should have gotten him involved before you purchased the land. That's we've gone through this ad nauseum. Shorty says, plus, the deal isn't as sweet as it appears. It will take 25 to 30 years before the Bears actually own it. Black Mamba Chronicles. Thank you for tuning in. This is, as a lifelong downstate resident, I hope the Bears relocate to Indiana. I want Pritzker and the Chicago Mafia to take an L on this one. I hear you. I would love to see them take an L. But I want my Bears in Illinois. Shit, I want them in Chicago. But it seems like that ship may have sailed, the Chicago ship. This is a shit show of all shit shows. Shit show of all shit shows. And it's interesting. I'm glad they asked some of the players about it. And they're like, I go wherever they need me to play, I'll play. Ben Johnson did the same, said the same. And he's right, because that is not there. That's above their pay grade. I don't care how much you're getting paid. That is above your pay grade. You don't worry about where they're playing. You don't worry about where the stadium is. You don't worry. You just go where they tell you to go. If I'm giving you 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 million, which Caleb will probably get, you go where they tell you to go. So don't worry about the players, the coaches. They ain't worried about it. You still have Soldier Field till 2031, the lease, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. But it's into the 30s, which, trust me, is coming very quickly. Here, where's the Bears lease to Soldier Field end? 2033. So that's 7 years. 26, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3. 8 years left. 8 seasons left. It runs through 2033. So 8 seasons left. They better figure this shit out, because this is going on, 4 years, 5 years now? When did they buy that? '23. I'm sorry. 3 years. They purchased the property on February 15, 2023. So it's 3 years. Three years. Actually, we're going almost 3.5 years. 3+ years we bought it. Not we. They bought it. And there hasn't been a shovel in the dirt. 3 years. That's a shame. That's a shame. And we were told that we were going to have shovels in the dirt by the end of 2025. Well, we're at June 29th. We're almost 6 months into, for all intents and purposes, we're 6 months, 2026. So I don't know. That's bothersome. That again, they have 8 years. They have 8 years before the shit hits the fan. King Booker, well, you're a fool. It's going to be a joy watching my grandson as a starting tight end for the Bears when the new stadium opens. At this rate, you ain't lying. At this rate, you ain't lying, King Booker World. But let's get off that craziness. You know, I really, really like what the Bulls did in the drafts. Crooked Commish asked a question. Sorry if you talked about it, but wondering what you thought of the Bulls draft. I really, really like it. I really, really like it. Caleb Wilson is a young man who is not afraid to put his goals out there. He said he's not afraid. He wants to be the greatest. He understands that it's going to take a lot of work. He understands that doesn't come easy, but he also is willing to do the work, according to him. So we'll find out. It's a great mentality to have. I love the mentality. We're going to see. King Booker World here full. Coached by Ben Johnson Jr. His grandson. But I love what he's done. I love his mentality. I love he's not shying away from being the greatest. So that means all eyes are going to be on you. Cue up Tupac. All eyes on me. And it seems that's the way he wants it. Okay. Now, can you live up to that hype? Because that's a lot of hype that you just put on yourself. And I forgot who was it earlier. Something like Cornelius would say or something. Yes, it was. Cornelius said, the last line says, I'd pay to see Caleb and Modest go against each other. Iron sharpens iron. You're damn right. That would be dope. Cornelius says, what I'm looking forward to is that both Matas and Caleb have the same attitude. They do. They do. They're aggressive. It just seems like Modest is so nice about it. But he's willing to just dunking on your head. We've seen it. It's not like something we have to wonder, does he have it? We've seen it. Against the Lakers, behind the back, tiptoe the sideline, dunk it. First, I got a meeting in 4 minutes. I'll be mute again, fam. No worries, Bubba. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Dalen Swain, I'm looking forward to another 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guard. Athletic, defensive. I really like the Bulls draft. So now the thing we have to see, though, that we have to see what style of ball Tiago Splitter implements. That's what we have to see. And how soon can are people going to buy into it? He should have a good amount of respect as a former player and as a former coach coming over from Portland. So the buy-in shouldn't be that long. But how long will it take for them to get it finally? We'll see. But listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Herb Lawrence, baseball analyst. We're going to talk about the good guys on the South Side. Maybe even talk a little bit about the Northsiders and their series win over the Cubs. But it won't be much Northside talk. Anyway, keep it locked right here. Herb Lawrence on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Everybody in a work zone is someone's somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Seen the most pitches.
Miguel Vargas, back it goes! Get out! White Sox respond here in the bottom of the first with a two-run shot and take a 2-1 lead over the Royals.
Power numbers 19 and 52, and that was a blast.
Shattered bat. Will it fall? Yes, it will. One run scores. The play to the play. Not in time as Vargas. He slides in.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Chicago Sports Network. Those are the good guys on the South Side. Unfortunately, could not complete the sweep. God bless it. That's a tough one. Goodness gracious. This is what I talked about in the first part of the show. Got to understand. You have to have that mentality that when you got the first two, you got to kill them. You got to go out after them quick. You got to go at them like Chicago voters. Vote early and often. Right? Go and jump on them early and often. And they're still not there yet. They're learning that. Again, they're learning the process. They're good at the process of never giving up. I don't want to have to say, let's come back. All right? Let's hold them off because they're going to give you everything they got. And the team that you're fighting with first for first place, they are going to give you everything they got. So they're young. They're still a young team. They're developing rather nicely, a lot more than we thought. And they're going to get there. They're going to get there. We got to be patient. Remember, I told you early in the year, be patient. Be patient. I even tell you, Cub fans, be patient with your people. Be patient with our boys. Remember, we were losing earlier, a lot of one-run games. I'm like, hey, toward the end of the season, that shit's going to change. Well, guess what? It had to be even been the end of the season. We're just in the middle of the season, and that has changed big time. Just be patient. It's coming. I promise. Our guest today, I'm fired up to have him. Baseball analyst, used to work at CHGO, covering the White Sox. He's a lifelong Sox fan. That's why we're kindred spirits. South Side. Born and bred, baby. I love it. Oh, sorry. I was at the little house music festival yesterday over on the Riverwalk talking to one of my buddies, and he said something. I just yelled out, Southside! He's like, you're an idiot. He goes, why do Southsiders do that? I'm like, cuz we're from the South Side. He wouldn't understand. I get it. You don't get it. You don't understand. I get it. But anyway, you can find him on Twitter at Eckernwall23. That's his name, Lawrence, spelled backwards. All right. Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports. Herb Lawrence. Herb, good morning, Papa. How are you?
Oh, you'd think I would know how to work a microphone after all these years, but whatever. I just set it up. I'm doing good.
Hey,
how you feeling?
Hey, I still bite my tongue, all right? I've learned to eat over 50 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm doing great. And yeah, I hear you on the South Side thing. Even though I'm not from the South Side, anytime I am out and I get to represent, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna shout it out.
Where you from? You from Evanston? Where are you from?
I'm from Wheaton originally, but I lived in the city probably for 25 plus years. Like when I hit 20, I was like, all right, that's enough. Wow. That's enough of this Wheaton nonsense. Let's get right to the city. And now we're living in Elgin. And every day I want to get back to the city. Even though Elgin's great. Chicago, you know it.
I got you. No, I get it. My cousin lives in South Elgin. And so we go out there a lot. So it's out there is really nice, really nice. A little far because I live in Orland. So, Charlie. But I hear you.
You're Chicago saying Charlie.
Yeah,
South Side,
man. But let's talk about these good guys, man. They couldn't get the job done yesterday. I was frustrated as all get out because I want this team. You heard me before. I want this team to develop, and you can't. Development is not linear. Yep. I want them to start to get that killer mentality where we've took the first two. Now let's step on their throat and put them out of their misery. Do not give them a chance. Talk to me about how frustrated you were yesterday with the White Sox not being able to get it done. They still came back. They still fought. They tied it at 4-4, but they couldn't get it done. Your thoughts on yesterday?
Yeah, I think that they have they're, as the old saying is, you got to crawl before you walk. And I heard you talking about, they come back a lot and they, understand, the fight is not over until it's over. But as you say, they are firstly learning how to win, period, because this team has lost 100 plus games in the last 3 years. So winning right now is what they're learning. And then the killer mentality will eventually come. But yeah, like a series versus a team like the Royals, where late innings, you're tied 4-4, and they give the extra run, and you're down in the last couple innings. I would have loved them to push across a run And the thing is, I love Will Venable. I think he's a top-notch manager, but I think his reliance on the bunt and the sacrifice game is a little too much because this team wins by home runs, not by small ball. So, and they win by clutch hits, not by bunting in runs. Sometimes use it. It's good, but I think he like relies on it. The other day where the White Sox had a chance to win the game, who was it? Versus Cleveland in the extra game where they came back. And the White Sox got a ghost runner on second, down run in the 10th inning. It's Miguel Vargas, who's an above-average runner. They bunt him over to third with a guy who's at the beginning of the year, I've been panning the whole time, but Luis Angel Acuna has been playing some good baseball when he has his limited chances, especially in the month of June. I would have loved for him to swing away and try to move over Miguel Vargas naturally with a hit to the right, a single to left field, something like that, instead of giving up an out, which then the White Sox loaded the bases and couldn't get the job done when Chase Meyer grounded out, and then they got out in the last inning. That was that killer mentality you're talking about. Like, hey, we're down 1 to the Cleveland team that we just came back with 2 solo home runs in the 9th. Let's step on throat. Let's put the pedal down. And if we lose by doing this, I'll be cool with that because at least we gave it our all. I think bunting is a give up. It's a, as the word says, sacrifice instead of, we don't need to sacrifice anything. We're better than that team over there. Let's cut some throats. Let's step on some throats and let's win that way. If we don't, at least they know that we went at them with full force. And it becomes a mentality within the team. It's like, hey, we're not giving up a quarter to any of these teams because we just played the Dodgers. We just played the Yankees. Handled our business. We played the Braves. We played the Phillies. We played all the top teams in the baseball, and we handled our stuff. So when we play the Royals, it's time to eat. When we play the Guardians, I don't care if they're tied with us. It is time to eat. We are better than them. And that mentality has to be built up, I believe, through doing instead of just like turning the switch on. And I think Will Venable, for as much as he gets credit and should get credit, I think he's got a A- job this year. A little too much reliance on that. And that mentality will sink into the rest of the team if he just says, we're not bunting anything. We're better than them. Let's win.
So you want more of a Dan Campbell type of guy, like, because like we're going to go full force. We're going for the win at all costs.
At all costs.
Okay.
Every single time. Because that's, if you're going to play like that, I think if you see the Lions, as you bring up the point, they play like that all the time. And to their detriment, some say, in the playoffs, when they could have played a more conservative style and maybe had a better chance of winning, I think that mentality continues to go. And you can see what the Bears do too. They do the same thing. Like, they go after teams. They battle these teams and they step on throats when they get a chance. And this year you'll see it a little bit more with the Bears because they know that they're good. They've been to the playoffs. Caleb's getting more accustomed to winning. All these things are going to start building up for them. And you're going to see like teams like up by six points, instead of going for the extra field goal, let's go for 2. Let's step on some throats. Let's make sure these people know when they play the Bears, they're going to have some punishment. And that's what the White Sox eventually will do, I think, maybe at the end of this year, but because they have a nice schedule for the rest of the time. I don't think they play really anybody of significance besides, like, I think the Yankees one more time, and that's about it.
They've won 10 consecutive home series.
Yeah.
First
ridiculous.
of all, how freaking awesome is that? Okay. And secondly, when teams do that, where do they usually end up at the end of the season? Top of division, playoffs. Where do those teams end up? Because the Sox are headed there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that winning, period, is great, but winning home series is what you're supposed to do. Like the old adage, if you're a good team, take 2 out of 3 at home and go 500 on the road. They haven't mastered the 500 on the road thing as yet.
Not yet.
But they're dominating at home. They're like, whoever comes in, they're going to get something from the White Sox right now, and that's usually an L on their way out. And so that's, like I said, they don't really play anybody of consequence besides the New York Yankees at home for the rest of the year. And so that's got to feel good knowing that you've beaten the top teams when they come here. And when they come to Guaranteed Rate or whatever, Sox Park, if you want to call it, White Sox are going to hit. And the Royals had to pay for it on Friday. They paid the toll, 22 runs. And then I had a guy at the bar the next day. It's like, man, just save some of those runs for Saturday, even though the White Sox do what they do. They come back and get a walk-off win on Saturday. 7 different players have produced the White Sox 7 different walk-offs they had this year, which is a testament to how balanced this team is. And I want to think about this, Shawn. The beginning of the year, their 2 best players, if you're their best pitcher at the beginning of the year, Shane Smith. Hasn't been here most of the year, hurt and ineffective when he was here. And then our best hitter, Murakami, has been gone for a month. And we went through the toughest stretch of the schedule and came out not only fine, but like better without our best pitcher and our best hitter. And they're both scheduled to come back soon. And we've got some more people in the mix, like young players who can make their debuts this year, which I think the White Sox have had 13 players make their major league debuts this year, which is amazing that they're still winning while developing, as you're talking about. Like, the development's going on, but those players like Antonacci coming up, just doing anything they want to. Braden Montgomery on his debut, like, it's just so unbelievable what these guys are doing. It's kind of reminded me of what the Cubs did in 2015 and 16, where all the prospects,
everybody hit.
Like, everybody hit.
One of them.
Yeah, it was like none of them were failing.
Cub fan friends.
Yeah, and so it feels like that. Like, all these players are doing well, and they're not even at their peak of their powers yet. And that's the thing that is very heartening to see, that the White Sox are playing well, but there's so much more growth to be happening.
Yeah, it is, and that's what's gotten me excited. I've gotten more invested in my White Sox because I had stepped away, distanced myself from them the last couple of years because, as White Sox fans, if you don't put a good product out there, I'm not going to the game. I'm not spending $30 on damn parking, or $40 on parking, excuse me. I'm not spending $40 on parking and, $8 for a hot dog and $16 for a beer and $25 for a mixed drink. I'm not paying that. But you put a good product out there. Hold on, player. Now I got a different. It's a different perspective. You mentioned one thing that I think is so amazing. You said the 7 walk-offs by 7 different players. A number of those players are first-year players. Why do you think that they are able? 7 youngsters, not all of them, but most of them, youngsters coming up. One in his debut. Why do you think they're able to compartmentalize and be so clutch at such a young age? Because this is only good. This only bodes well for this team. But why do you think they're able to come up and deliver in high pressure situations? And they're literally, 24 hours in a big city in the show, a couple weeks in the show. But whenever the number's called, they step up.
It is amazing. And I, as a person who was against the Chris Getz hiring initially, because I didn't think the process was correct, where he was just the only candidate that Jerry actually considered, I thought he got the job in a wrong way. Saying that, he has done a really good job of setting his team up for success. He's gotten people underneath him that are smart. And that is one of the great things a leader does. He's not afraid of getting smart people who might be smarter than he is. He's not afraid of, being the best and smartest mind in the world. He just says, let me get all those people around me so they can deliver a product that is, like you say, like when they're ready for the big time, they're prepared for it. And so through the drafting and the player development, and I think mental skills too. Like, one of the things that you're an athlete, physicality is, most of the people in the league have that they wouldn't have been there if they didn't have the physical skills. What separates, I believe, is that mentality that, okay, when I get my moment, it's not necessarily rising to the level. It's just staying at the same level that you've been at the whole time, not shrinking when that moment gets too big. understanding, okay, this is just baseball. That guy's just as scared as I am. Across from me, 60 feet, 6 inches away from me, he's got to bring it to me. Having that mentality, I think, has been developed by Paul Yanish, who is the minor league director of the Chicago White Sox, Ryan Fuller, who is the all-encompassing hitting coach of the White Sox whole system, aka it's like the opposite of what Brian Bannister is for the White Sox. They're doing so well in developing these players that when they do come up, they're ready. They're prepared. We saw so many times when under the previous regime where they weren't ready. These players who were much highly touted, one of the best farm systems in baseball back in when the actual second or the first rebuild started after 2016, you would hear the names Kopech and Moncada and Robert and Eloy. And some of them were ready for prime time initially, but it wasn't all of them. All these players, it seems like they hunger for it. Even players from different organizations, like Derek Hill, when he played here for the White Sox, was clutch. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Tristan Peters, coming from a different place, but he is technically a rookie. He's prepared, and he's having a great year. Braden Montgomery on his debut, great home run to walk it off. And I'm most impressed by Sam Antonacci. His meteoric rise, I think he only got drafted 2 years ago out of Coastal Carolina, and all he's done is just hit, and hit. And he's playing out of position, out of necessity, because they got to get him on the field because he's so damn good. And I think in no small part, the team's mentality is due to the culture that is around the players. And I think Sam Antonacci is a culture builder. Like the way he plays, the way he demands himself to play the way he does, I think it just permeates throughout the rest of the team. Like they got a couple of those guys like that. Him and Chase Mydroff are both dogs that you want on your team. Usually you only get one, but we got two, and it's so refreshing to see these guys just raising to the level when it's time to go. When it's, hey, we're down to our last out. They've won 5 games when they're down to their last out in the 9th inning. It's amazing. They're just a godsend. From where we were to where we are now, it's like the best feeling I've ever had watching a baseball regular season because of how low I started. And then we rose up to the top. The 2005 team I thought was going to be decent. And so when they were really good, I was like, man, that is a meteoric rise. I even think this is a huger rise from 101 losses last year to in first place at the end of June. Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. And that's the thing. You know, a lot of my Cub fans and people will comment on social media like, easy there, buddy. You're this, I was like, bro, like you don't understand the depths of hell we've been in. All right. 3 years of 100+ losses is embarrassing, and you were talking shit to us when we were losing over 100 losses every 2 years. So you know where we're coming from. So let us enjoy it. We're not saying this is the 20s Yankees. We're not saying it's the 05 White Sox. We're saying we're happy with where we are at. We're proud of where we are at. And it might not be the best record in baseball. That's okay. But from where we came, we got to look at we're not comparing our journey to anybody else's. We're comparing our journey to our journey. And that's what, exactly. People get upset. I'm like, bro, I'm going to cheer. I'm going to be happy for them. I'll be talking shit because, man, there was so much shit talked to us. Now it's time to give it back a little bit, and that's cool. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about is this closer role. This closer role is seems simple. Grant Taylor seems to be the dude to close, and Sir Anthony Dominguez seems, even though he got paid the big bucks, seems he does better when he sets up. When do you think that move will become permanent? Because we did I still have it up here? No, Stevie put it. We had the illustration where we saw that Sir Anthony Dominguez is much better as a setup man. He was a setup man. He was never really a closer. We gave him closer money. Why? I don't know. It's another White Sox thing we like to do. But nonetheless, Grant Taylor's coming in, mowing mugs down like they stole something from him, bro. When is that going to change? Because that needs to change soon, because we can't continue getting into these one-run games. Here it is. Get into one-run games, and then Dominguez walks the first dude, hits the second dude, base hit. You know what I mean? Talk to me about when you think this will change.
It should change, but I would rather keep Grant Taylor in his same role, even though he's much better in saves. I think high leverage is the play. Like Grant Taylor hopefully comes in the sixth inning when the game is on the line. They're up by 3 runs, and it's bases loaded now. No outs for the other team. We need some strikeouts. Like, can you get these strikeouts? Like Hudson's been good. They got a couple other players in the bullpen that have been solid, but I like to have what is, in essence, the closer in the spots where the game is on the line. Like, if that is the 9th inning, so be it. But if it's the 8th inning and I need 6 outs from Grant Taylor, which I know he can give me because he's a starter who's just being a reliever right now. He's just biding his time being a reliever until he gets his shot, just like Garrett Crochet got his shot a couple years ago. I think that whenever the game is on line, give me my best pitcher, and that is Grant Taylor. And Dominguez has been, as you show on the stat, and yesterday showed too, he's been lights out when it's not a save situation, and that was one of the main things I was against his signing, because as you were talking about, all that money he got automatically lifted him to a position of being a closer. And being a closer is a different mentality than being just a solid setup guy reliever. And you can tell he's not ready for prime time. When he gets in that 9th inning, the White Sox got a lead. He's always, even when he gets a save, it's always a rocky one. It's a mentality. Like, it's in his head now. And it's 100% going to be in his head until it isn't, which the White Sox can't afford that. Can't afford to have a player like Sir Anthony Dominguez work it out on the mound. They have too many valuable games to win. And so in the interim, there's a lot of teams who are struggling right now, especially in the American League. I would say go out and get a perfect guy that has been a closer for a certain amount of time, and you've seen results from this player. I'm not going to get Aroldis Chapman because I think he's cooked. He's having a good year, and he's had a last couple of years, but I don't want to put that on the White Sox. But a player of that ilk, like a closer that's been doing this for a minute now, that you can rely on giving the ball in the 9th inning, and then still have Sir Anthony Dominguez and Grant Taylor. And I don't think a closer, especially as a rental, would cost that much. And that's exactly where I'm at. I don't want to trade a lot of prospects right now at this trade deadline to go and get a top-line pitcher or a bigger bat, because I think the development of the players that they have is going to carry this team for years to come. So I don't want to give up any of the good young talent they have, and more to come with either Rock Chalowski or Everson Griffin coming on, being the number 1 draft pick this upcoming year. So I'm a fan of going to get a closer that's done it. And I don't know if Grant Taylor is ready for that, even though he has been already ready for that, because the volatility of closers is just ridiculous. So that's why I want a guy that's done it for years. And then I'm trying to think of names. I forgot. There's a right-hander. I think he pitched for mostly the Astros the last couple of years, and he's done very well for himself. And is it Ryan Presley? Is he still pitching? If it's Ryan Presley, I'm messing the name up. But there's a long-time American League closer that's bounced around, but he's done very well as a closer in that role, that the White Sox would be perfect fit for this guy. And I think that would be the ideal situation for the White Sox to get a guy like that, or if there was a guy in their minor league system that was ready. But I don't think there is, because they've pretty much, as you see with the major league team, they've pretty much exhausted all the good options out there in the minor leagues, and they're all up in the major leagues.
Guys, we're joined by Herb Lawrence, baseball analyst. We're talking Chicago White Sox baseball here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. We a buyer or seller at the deadline?
We are. If I had my druthers staying where they're at, but as I said right there, maybe a slight buyer, just a let's get some maintenance. Let's get some extra mortar on this building to fortify what we already have, but not give up too much of our talent. Like people are talking about, giving away some of our higher ranked prospects to get a real player. I can see that because you only get a shot at, going for the championship when that season's happening. So I can see somebody saying, hey, next year we might be in a lockout or a strike. So go all the way in and get the best player available so you could try to go and get that World Series. As I've talked about, they've beaten the best teams, they've battled the best teams, and they're right there with them. I can see that mentality, and I wouldn't be against that mentality. But if you're going to do that, you got to go all out. You have to go every single team in the league has to know, oh my God, the White Sox are going for it. Like if you want to go and get Tarek Skubal if he was available, which is probably not, because firstly, the Tigers are playing better baseball, and they probably wouldn't trade him in the division, even though it's his last year for the White Sox. And he would cost a good portion of the White Sox talent right now for a 2-3 month rental. But if you're of the mentality of, we get a top line starter to go along with Davis Martin, to go along with Sean Burke, then we're cooking with gas. In that short series where you got to go against Tarek Skubal at the top of the lineup, it's going to be tough. Or they can go and get a person of that ilk, like another person that is on the trade block, but also in the division, Joe Ryan, top pitcher, where if you get him and you get those other two guys that I just mentioned with the White Sox, it's going to be a tough series if you're going for a best of 5. That's the mentality that people would have, and I would be 100% for it. But I believe that the strike/lockout won't be as long as people are saying. So there will be, I think, eventually a 2027 year, and you can't mortgage what we have this year for future years, I believe. But of that mentality, if you are of the, hey, let's win this championship, I don't give a damn, and it'll be a great story, go from 101 losses to the World Series winner, let's not put anything to chance, I'm for you. Because the team the White Sox are playing this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the Baltimore Orioles, a couple of years ago, they had a similar situation where they went from bad to pretty damn good and winning divisions in the AL East out there and going to the playoffs. But they didn't push all in. When Dylan Cease was available, they weren't in there. When Garrett Crochet was available, they weren't in there. And it was obvious they needed a top-line pitcher for however long he's going to be there. They needed him. And both of those pitchers had multiple years on their contract left. So they could have had the safety of having a top-line pitcher and knowing he's not just a rental, but they didn't go for it. And now you see where the Baltimore Orioles are at. They're not as good as they used to be. Not all the prospects worked out. And they're thinking the second thoughts about Adley Rutschman now. So, when you have a chance, if you're of that mentality, if you have a chance to win it or you're in the mix, just go all out for it. I will not argue that, but I am not there yet. And maybe in July 28th, I'll be like, hey, man, sorry, prospects. We got to get this top player because he's available. And, yeah, I hope you have a good time in Anaheim if we go and get a pitcher out there, or Minnesota or Detroit, because we got to win this championship. And hey, if we don't, I will be kind of mad, but I would say, hey, they have that mentality of going for it or nothing at all. And, hey, if that's your mentality, I am not going to argue you. What about you? What do you think?
I want this team to be good for an extended period. We haven't had that. We make the playoffs, then another 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 years, we make the playoffs again. I don't want that. I want us to be consistently good. I don't think we'd be buyers. People are gonna want a lot of our shit, and I don't want to give. I'm happy. The reason I'm reluctant is because, and maybe it should be the opposite way, but because we're developing. We talked about it earlier in this interview. The development of these youngsters is unreal. The plate discipline, the approach that they have, and the plate discipline that they have for such young players, 21, 22, 23-year-olds, is to marvel at. I'm like, how did you not swing at that son of a gun? It was a slider that was in the bottom of the zone, bottom of the zone, and you watched it the bottom fall out, and it's a ball. Like, how did you not swing at that? And you've been in the show for 24 minutes. That's why I don't know if I want to be a buyer, because I think once we get closer, like if we win the division this year, and we're fighting for it next year, we're top the division next year, then I'm like, okay, go get the big dude, but I don't know. I don't know if I have the cojones right now this year to go all in, because hell, this what, 5 teams, 6 teams in the American League with 500 records, and we're one of them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we're there. I saw a post the other day. If the season ended today, we're waiting for a wild card. We're in the playoffs.
Yep.
But I don't know. I want to see how much better this team gets through the development and by playing together, because they haven't. But 13 guys made their debut this year.
Yep. What
happens when you stick together and you get those guys and they have a year under their belt? How much better will they be? That's why, because people are going to want some of the people who already made their debut. They're going to want the Jacob Gonzalez. They're going to want the Antoniades. They're going to want, okay, we want him. If you want, you know what I mean? They're going to ask for those people. We don't have to give it to them, which might shoot the deal down, but those players are going to be asked for. And they're just the trajectory that all these youngsters have is one I'm not willing to break up. I'm not willing to break up. Like if we get deep in the playoffs, it's with this crew right here. All right. And if I'm Will Venable and I tell him, hey, listen, this is us. We win a World Series. However far we go, it's us. I don't want anyone else this year. I don't want this. And I think he believes in us. He believes in us. And who knows? I mean, you still got to face the Dodgers again. If you get that far, you still got a couple good teams in the American League. Hell, we get Cleveland. All right. Mm-hmm. But I think this team can go pretty far, Herb. I really do. Because they do. I said it to you before. I say it all the time. If you take care of the little things, there are no big things. And the Sox are not overlooking the little things. The cutoff man. All right, those little things. Yesterday, how did they score first? Why? Because Anthony Kay didn't look the runner at first. Steals second, gets the third on a fly ball, and then scores on the base hit. 1-0. If you look, you watch that runner at first, he doesn't take that big a lead. All right, you know what I mean? That run doesn't score, we win. Those little things we don't do. That was paramount yesterday. But we don't make those mistakes often, and that's why I really have. I'm torn, Herb. I really am. Like I'm torn to say this team can get to the ALCS, and you know what, we get knocked out in the first round. But I don't. It's somewhere in between, bro. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I just don't want them to have a brain fart like that. You can't do that, especially if you're in the playoffs. You can't let the guy steal second, get the third in the fly. You know what I mean? That type of thing. That can't happen. So we talked about they're still young, they're still learning, and hopefully that was a good teaching point for Will Venable and the staff yesterday. It's just to be like, you got to keep that runner on. You have to look at him, and you can't put him in scoring position. So I don't know if I answered your question, but it's just I just really enjoying this team so much this year because they're playing good fundamental baseball, and that's all you can ask. And added on top of it, the talent that they have. This is what should have been with the Yohan, the Eloy, and that whole crew. But they weren't fundamentally sound, and no one kept boot to ass on them about playing fundamentally sound. And then we get Tony. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road, Herb.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they have the right people in place that keep these players fundamentally right, mentally right, and so you don't see the plays that you were talking about. Like we are way too accustomed as White Sox fans to see bad baseball. How many times did we see an outfielder run into another outfielder trying to catch a ball? Like it was a epidemic with the White Sox. We don't see that anymore. You're talking about hitting the cutoff man all the time. Playing the right way leads to winning eventually. That's the process that they're going through, and that's why I give Chris Getz and Paul Giannis all the credit because they've gotten this so well down now. They've understood that foundation has to be strong. You have to set them up right. And then when they get up to the major leagues, they already have the fundamentals down. They're now worrying about hitting the baseball. They're not worried about, oh, are my feet right? Are my things right? What am I doing? They're thinking baseball. Like, okay, if this guy hits the ball to me, where am I going? How am I going to get there? They're thinking baseball now instead of worrying about, oh my God, am I going to run into my outfielder, or am I going to make the right play at third base? Am I going to get hurt on this play, or is it 2-1 count? And should I be swinging? All those things I think all went through the White Sox mind back in the day, and getting injured all the time also didn't help them. And that's another thing. This team has been relatively, besides Murakami, healthy. I mean, we haven't seen the I even forgot his name now. The right fielder we we got free agency. He's been hurt the who was that right fielder? It was the former Oriole. I just forgot his name. Austin Hayes. Like, he's been gone for the whole year. But I'm glad because it opened up a spot for Braden Montgomery to just take that spot, and now it's his. Hey, Austin, man. Just sit out, man. You're good. You're gonna have a hamstring for the rest of the year,
buddy.
Yeah, or we're gonna we'll trade you to another team because you're not coming back here. Even Andrew Benintendi's had a good June.
Yeah,
I mean, if somebody's calling, I'm getting out of the Andrew Benintendi contract, even though he's played well this year. If somebody's like, hey, that's the old Andrew Benintendi, the left-handed power that we need. But, hey, man, it's been real, Andrew. Hit that road, brother. Because I think there's still like a year or 2 more years on that contract where, hey, man, I can't have Andrew Benintendi on this team while he's playing well. Like he was so bad during those 100 loss years that if anybody bites, I'm like, hey, man, I got to play some of these youngsters, and you've had a great year, and somebody wants you. I got some value back for you, because any White Sox fan from 2-3 years ago was like, somebody's taking Andrew Benintendi at the last couple of years of his contract. Thank Jesus. And I applaud what he's doing this year, but it's exactly why I want to get him off the team, because I know the other side of Andrew Benintendi, and I'm real good. I'm real good on that. Even though he might be a peach of a man. I've had scars, Shawn. We've had scars from the bad Andrew Benintendi. He's part of the worst teams of all time. So yeah, I do not want him on the team anymore.
There were times, man, where he was just his approach was terrible. His discipline was terrible. And like, you have the biggest contract in White Sox history, and you're up there swinging like I would swing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I haven't played baseball since 8th grade. I'm like, that is unacceptable. Last question before we let you go. Where does the money man go when he comes back? Where does Munetaka Murakami go when he comes back? First base? Is he rotating with Jacob Gonzalez? Is he a DH? Because all these guys are hitting. You don't want them to stop hitting, but you also don't want the guy who was on track, head and shoulders above the rest of the rookie of the year, to be on the bench either.
Yeah, 100% he's playing. I think also I would play him at first base. And Jacob Gonzalez has handled himself well with the glove over there at first base, but he's not 100% good with the bat as yet. This is why I want to trade Andrew Benintendi away, so Jacob Gonzalez can get some of those DH spots right there. And he's still a good outfielder, or a good infielder. So he played shortstop, and so I'm sure he can go somewhere else in the field if needed. But I would put Murakami back at first base. He was a decent first baseman, and of course the power was there with 20 home runs before he got hurt. And I would want Jacob Gonzalez to be picking up some of those DH at bats. If not, whenever, I mean, they have all pretty much left-handed outfielders. So it'll be hard for Jacob Gonzalez to replace them or do a true platoon of either Tristan Peters or Braden Montgomery, who's a switch hitter, and then Antonacci, who bats from the left side. That would be the only problem. But maybe you could do a Chase Mydroff day off where Jacob Gonzalez they're facing a tough right-hander, and Chase is struggling that week, and he can play some second base or something of that nature. Or same thing with Miguel Vargas. But I would want him to get those type of at-bats. But Murakami was your best hitter when he was in the lineup. I think you don't change anything about his role unless it is to keep him healthy. That would be the only thing. If he is 100% healthy, and it looks like they said he was 85% a couple days ago while he was running. And I think they said, usually at this time they would, put him at a rehab start, but they are doing extra cautious work, as I think is the White Sox duty to do, specifically them, because we know in the past, even though it's a different regime, the White Sox, in my opinion, would rush players back and use baseball games, actual Major League Baseball games, as the rehab, as part of the rehab, instead of that player being 100%, then going to the minor leagues and to get the baseball feel out there for a week or two, however long. I think it's 10 days you could be in the minor leagues for a rehab assignment. I think that is the official Major League rule. Like, let him play that out. Let him get all the scar tissue away. Let him make sure that he is ready for Major League Baseball, because when he's in the lineup, those games count. So I don't want him to be easing himself back into the game in Major League games.
Right.
Do that in the minors.
You want his muscle memory back.
Yeah, do all that stuff in the minors and readjust and recalibrate, because when you come back to the majors, the expectation is you to be the guy you were before, or at least no limitations from you being that guy you were before, because you're just being cautious or you're being timid and you're being kind of like tiptoeing instead of hitting the ground running with 100% effort like you did before. The minor league game should be like that. That's what the White Sox, and you would see like, oh, Eloy's back, excellent. And then 2 weeks later, Eloy's back on the IL.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Yohan and Luis Robert, who is on the IL now as a New York Met. I think the White Sox, like every single time in this last rebuild, when it was time for them to go and it was time for them, okay, maybe this is the year, it was always injuries that stopped them. And I think they rushed those players back out of necessity and desperate measures, because they needed the players back, because the bottom of the roster was terrible. They didn't really build them up after they had the big influx of young talent after the trade of Chris Sale. And they had that influx of talent, but they didn't have talent behind that talent. And so when they eventually got hurt, the actual thing fell off the table. And so they would be rushing these other players back. And this is the luxury that these White Sox in 2026 have had, is that every player that's been called up has been relatively healthy. And when they did get injuries, other players have stepped up. Murakami goes out. The White Sox don't skip a beat offensively.
No.
They keep on hitting. And that's why they have the luxury of just letting the guy get 100% ready. And so there's no desperate measures because, oh man, we need to win because we just lost the whole gauntlet versus the Phillies, Yankees, and Dodgers. No, we did well in that time without Murakami. Yeah. And now we're on the other side of that. Hey, take your time, brother. When you come back, we're going to get you for the rest of the year and do the Murakami things. We don't want you back right now when you're 85%. We want you 100%. And then when we are ready to go, you're ready to go. So let's go. Let's just get you ready for baseball. And when you come back, you're playing baseball. You're at first base and you're hitting third or second, wherever you want to be, because our offense is going through the roof. And with you back, those 22 runs turn into 25 runs. The man hits more home runs than anybody. 20 home runs in this short period of time. It's ridiculous. And I'm so happy the White Sox have him. I would want them to find a way to sign him to a bigger deal than Andrew Benintendi. Find a way to sign him to whatever deal he wants, because he is that dude.
Make him the first $100 million contract the White Sox have ever had. Hey, Herb, I lied. One more question before we let you go. Guys, we're joined by Herb Lawrence, baseball analyst, used to work for formerly of CHGO. We're talking White Sox baseball here on Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. This is the last question. This is what I was talking about. I don't know if you were in the green room when I was talking about this, but who is this? Who is the leader of this team, and do they need one specific one? If you can name one.
I don't think Sam Antonacci is first ready nor vocal enough to be a leader in the traditional terms, like rah, hey guys, let's go and do it. I just think his attitude and what he does, he's more of a show you and follow me type of leader. And I think Chase Mydroff was on this team before him. I think he was that guy. And I can see him in the future being like the undisputed guy. Like Chase Mydroff, that's what the White Sox are. Chase Mydroff goes, that's where the White Sox are. And that's why early in the week when, Chase struggled with the bases loaded and Blair's in a running position, earlier last week with the Cleveland Guardians, especially in the game that the White Sox eventually lost when he struggled in the extra inning portion with a ground ball. I think that the talk this week on Sox Twitter was very caustic against him. Like, not everybody, but way too many people were saying, like, kind of, this guy sucks. This guy is not good. Why do we have this guy? And haven't looked at the body of work that he's put in, that's why I'm like miffed at what they're saying, because Chase Mydroff has been pretty damn good in his short major league career. Mm-hmm. And I can see that player being the leader of the team, the mentality you want to have. Grindy, undersized, is going to do whatever it takes to win games. Yeah, sometimes he's not going to come through. That's baseball, man. That's a slump like any player is going to have. But to go on the other side of it and say that this guy's not good, I'm ready for Billy Carlson and every other minor leaguer in the White Sox system except for Chase Mydroff. Like, come on, guys. This guy has been major league ready for a couple of years now and came up at the beginning of last year, and it's only shown you great baseball. And I think, you could see him in the dugout talking to players and dancing and doing his thing. So I think he's the more vocal of the leaders. And since he's got a year on Sam Antonacci, I think that he is a guy that people look at more as the leader. But what Sam Antonacci does, I don't think people understand, like, how he just plays the game at a level that you as a person that is at home would think you would do the same, because it seems like Sam Antonacci was that guy who didn't get everything coming out of high school. And he was a good baseball player, but it seems like, hey, if I ever got a chance to play, I would play this 100% way. I would do all the things as well as I can. Play, if they ask me to move to a position I've never played in my life before, I do it, and I do it with great glee, and I do it pretty well. I know the metrics, are shaky on him, but he's playing a position he's never done before. You didn't see that with Gavin Sheets. He didn't play well in outfield. And same thing with Andrew Vaughn. Like, these White Sox players in the past didn't have that same mentality because they had a little bit more shine, where Andrew Vaughn was the Golden Spikes Award winner, the best player in baseball, and was thought to be no doubt great player. And when he hits the majors, he's going to be great, which he wasn't for the White Sox. He's having some success in Milwaukee, and I congratulate him on that. Gavin Sheets, the same thing. He's a Wake Forest guy. He went to a big Power 4 school, and a big conference in the ACC playing baseball. So he's given things that, Sam Antonacci hasn't. He had to go to a community college to start off with. Then he finally got to Coastal Carolina, which is a great baseball program as of late. Right. As the White Sox, I think Zach Remillard came from there also. He had to grind for everything. And ever since he has been drafted, I think he was drafted in the 5th round in 2024, he's done nothing but hit for the White Sox. Nothing but hit, and done it at a high level. And now at the majors, I think he's hitting like in the 290s, getting on base at a 38% clip. The power's not there, but you could see some of the power coming, and eventually you get there. I just think that the mentality that he has, where it's like, I got a shot to play baseball in the major leagues. the last thing I'm going to do is lollygag. The last thing I'm going to do is leave any ounce of my talent in the clubhouse. I'm bringing it all out here. You could see the heart and tussle that guy has. And that's why I think that type of play, while he might not be too vocal right now, speaks loudly to his teammates. And so that's having those two guys of Chase Mydroff and having Sam Antonacci. I believe those guys are setting the table and setting the leadership. And I think eventually, when they get a little bit more, established in their career, they're going to be like more vocal, and they're going to be like, this is the standard here at White Sox baseball. We've set the standard. If you're not hitting this standard, you're going to be in trouble with the rest of us. This is what we expect of you. There's nothing less than that. And I think, when you have dogs like that, and then when they hold their other teammates accountable to that, you're going to have nothing but success, because I think you're following the right players and you're following the right process. Eventually, the good results will come to all.
You talk about that real quick is, the last out of the 22-1 game. All right, Chase Mydroff dove to get that line drive when he could easily just let it go. We're up 21 runs. Right. They're not scoring 3 touchdowns with 1 out left. So that mentality showed there all the way through, and the fact that they respect all 27, like you got to get all 27 outs, and they do, and that's exactly what you're talking about. That's leadership. That's leadership right there, right in front of our face. Herb, great, awesome conversation, man. I appreciate the time. You see, I had to put up the first place White Sox. I know we're tied, but the first place White Sox. Who the hell would have thunk it going into July? Damn sure not me and you. That's for sure. I said they're gonna flirt with 500. Dude, they might be pushing 90 wins now. That would be insane, which is awesome for where we've been. But again, great stuff, my man. I really appreciate your time. Do me a huge favor though, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
They can go to Twitter at Actorwall23. It's Lawrence, my last name, spelled backwards. The 23 is for Robin Ventura. And so all my thoughts about baseball and other things are on their Twitter, or then go to Instagram and see some of the pictures I wrote or I take of myself. It's just my name, Herb Lawrence. But not really doing anything in the industry anymore, so I don't have anything to promote there. But my baseball thoughts are always on Twitter, so you can always get them there.
And that's why I keep asking you back, because I know your baseball acumen is one of the better ones in the area, and you're a Sox fan. Let's do it. I love it, man. I love it. Thanks again, buddy. You have a great week. Stay cool. It is hot as a mug out there. And on my first commercial break, I had to go turn the air on because I didn't have it on last night. I'm like, it's gonna be hot all week, and then I'm gonna go to the water park for a while.
Yeah, I saw it was 90 plus. I went out to walk the dog. I was like, nah, I'm good. And my dog was like, nah, I'm good after like 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, it's hot.
Great stuff, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Shawn.
Thank you. Guys, that's Herb Lawrence, baseball analyst, talking White Sox baseball with your boy and talking White Sox baseball with us here on Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Great stuff. Real quick, we had talked about it before. Here's the schedule. Here's the schedule for training camp. All right, for your public practice. All right, the tickets. See, here's the only bad thing. The tickets, like once they go on sale, or they're free, but once they get taken up, people guard them, or people actually sell them. People actually sell them, or they hold them. And, I hate the fact that the Bears do camp at Hallis Hall. I hate it. I hate it. All right. I loved it when it was at Olivet Nazarene. All right. They didn't have the restrictions, or they had much more space. And I get it. There are a lot of things that didn't come through. Olivet Nazarene didn't follow through on a lot of the things that they said they were going to do. Okay. I get it. Man, did that really, that's because there's so many different things. Let me take this down. I'm tired of looking at this thing. So many different things. The impersonality, like it's, I know you're close to the players, like you are in Bourbonnais. It just doesn't have the same feel. Why? Because you got to park at Hawthorne Mall. All right, then you got to take a shuttle bus over. You know, and then it's just so not personal. And that's the thing that we loved about Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais was awesome. And then especially for me, since I'm in Orland, I hop on 57. I'm there in 20 minutes. That little town, what we did as Bear fans in the 4 to 5 weeks of training camp, the amount of business that we did to that small town was insane. Insane. From the hotels that were rented, that were booked, to the grocery stores, to the establishments, the bars and restaurants that were attended to by the fans, was insane. But again, I get it. There are a couple things that Olivet Nazarene didn't hold up to, so they moved their stuff. I just don't like it at Hallis Hall. I just don't. Nimolo. Anyway, listen, 2 hours is coming and gone. I want to thank my man Herb Lawrence for coming on, talking White Sox baseball with us. Our first place White Sox baseball, the first place Chicago White Sox. But big shout out to him. Thanks for coming on. Always great talking baseball to him. Talking baseball with him. A big shout out to you guys, man. You guys are kicking ass. My people. Shorty, my man Junior, King Booker World, checking in. Cornelius Squall, Black Diamond. Shawn, Mr. Southside himself, Black Mamba, checking in. Appreciate it. Crooked Commish, Levette Lee, Rick Gonzalez. How can I forget Rick? And everybody else, man. If I missed you, my apologies. I don't believe I missed anybody. But my thanks to you guys checking in, tuning in. You guys do it. I love the support that you guys give me. I am eternally grateful for the support that you guys give me, because without you guys, I'm not really doing this. I'm not really doing this. So again, I thank you. And here, I want you guys to do one thing. If we can go, should have had this up already. My apologies. This one. Choo-choo. There we go. Do not forget, 4 weeks, less than 4 weeks now. SuperBack Double Nickel Linden celebration. All right, scan the QR code or go to sportzonechicago.com. I know I put the banner, the link. Oh, you can't. Sorry, what was I thinking? All right, put the. There we go. We'll put it here. Here you go. There's the link. Shorty says, becoming very nostalgic to have you on my TV every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I appreciate it, Shorty. But there's the link. Man, it's going to be off the chain. Get your tickets. Trying to get everyone to get their tickets by the end of the week. All right, so we can settle it. Let everyone know it's sold out. All right. So if you're able to go, you're planning on going, scan the QR code or go to sportzonechicago.com. All right. They will, you'll be able to, purchase your tickets there. Son of a biscuit. You know what? On the apparel, it's on page 3. My guy hasn't been able to do that yet. Well, man, I'm going to reach out to him and make sure that he puts the link on the first page. But if you go to the catalog for the merchandise, it's on page 3. It's the last thing that was added, so it's on the last page. Thought my guy would have been able to get it up already, but I will talk to him and get that link on there. All right. Yeah, my apologies. And don't forget, get your Sports Zone Chicago swag, baby. Get your swag. All right, Sports Zone Chicago hats, T-shirts, FGB hats, T-shirts, Sports Zone Chicago quarter zips. All right, good, better, best. All right, T-shirts and hoodies, FGB shirts, hats. All right, it's all there. It's all there. Make sure you grab those, all right? But I got to get out of here. You guys have a great day. Stay cool. It's going to be warm all week, 90s all week. Like I said, I had to turn the air on that first commercial break because it is going to be hot. Ain't feeling hot. All right? So stay cool. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. So from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Have a great, great day, and do yourself a favor. Let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right? Boy, the SuperBack, I am